betting on a game. No woman's gonna tell us what to do, and I've been over here just drinking beer and making that noise. Baby, I'm hanging with the fellas, bussin' with the boys.
Bro.
There you go.
There it is.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Bussin' with the Boys. It is it's an interesting day to say the least, but we'll get into that.
Oh, sorry. I that's on me.
Go ahead, bub.
I was gonna just to tell Jack to make sure to have because that's why you typed it out, right?
Yeah, but I'll hit the ad first. Don't even worry about that. We have an interesting day to say the least. I will tell you this. We'll do the Chevy ad, and then I'm going to tell you what's on the docket for today. There's a new family with Unstoppable Grit, and they are the official partner of Bussin' with the Boys family, and that is the Chevy Silverado ZR2 family. The first ever Silverado heavy-duty ZR2 joins the franchise and makes Chevy ZR2 the only truck brand with a full line of trucks ready for whatever your off-road adventure takes you. With the exclusive Multimatic DSSV dampers, rugged mud terrain tires, and up to 14 available camera views. I just tried to short the Chevy Silverado.
You really did.
I should not have done that. That's messed up. The Chevy Silverado ZR2 and Silverado HD ZR2, a family with commanding and unstoppable grit. Head over to Chevy.com and check out the Chevy Silverado and the family of Chevy ZR2s, the official truck of Bussin' with the Boys. We have
Nebraska fans.
We have an incredible lineup for you today. Obviously, we are in Notre Dame this weekend for Notre Dame Ohio State. We're going to recap that. As always, we're going to talk about college football and the NFL. We got our nuts of the week, so you heard us working through last week. We got Shoutout for Shoutout, the good, the bad, and the stuff that gets you beat. You know about cursing in the first 5 minutes with the algorithm. Quandre Diggs is joining us on this beautiful podcast. We have our Tier Talk Twisted Question of the Week. Mitch is going to get redemption on that possibly. Also, your boy got redemption this week. I got redemption this week. We can get into that in a second. Dude Wife's crappiest moment, because we're not cursing right now, not for the first 5 minutes. Spooktober merch, it's coming out and it's going to be huge. But it's live right now.
No.
It's live in
4 hours. 10 a.m. Central. 10 a.m. Central. Spooktober merch is up. It is time to prepare for spooky season.
And this is contract year. We've said it for the last 5 months, how every year it seems like we start real strong with Spooktober and somebody, I'm not going to say who, gets hurt.
There's their ACL.
Yeah. And it ruins everything. And it ruins absolutely everything.
We're not
going
saying
to say who did that, but that person needs to have less shaky knees. The most important thing to talk about, which we will start with today. Tensions are high on this bus. There's a lot. We don't know if the bus is going to exist after this week because we have the Bussin Bowl. The greatest college football rivalry, the greatest trophy game in college football history is back for its second annual season, and it will be played in Lincoln, Nebraska at Memorial Stadium with what, 95,000 screaming fans as the Michigan Wolverines trot into Lincoln and go
try to upset the Huskers. Do
you want to talk about it?
We can talk about it, but also the boys will be doing a live show Friday night at the Bourbon Theater. Those tickets, we'll post the link right here. You can go buy those online. We will be doing a live show Friday night, also partying our faces off. We don't know where that is yet.
I think we do know where that is, right?
We might.
Do we want to give a hint? Starts with a B.
Don't finish. Don't give a second letter.
That's
Don't give
all
a
I'm going to
second
say.
letter. Yeah, don't give.
It's not even starting with a B, but there are letters in the name.
Yeah, there you go.
There's letters in the name of the place we'll be at.
Yes, but this is gonna be a fun weekend. But yes, it is time.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to think about another fun weekend after this past weekend.
I know we had a blast, bro.
I'm still tired. I don't want to sound like a little diva, but I am tired. I'm sleepy. I'm a sleepy boy today.
I telling the Chevy ad.
Could you?
Yeah, I just didn't feel.
And I know it's a big energy pod. I know. I gotta be better. I gotta be better. We'll spruce it up as we go for sure. I was just trying to handle the new format of what we're doing on this show, dude.
How
do you think our friendship's gonna fare after this weekend?
I think it'll be fine.
You think so?
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens?
Yes.
I'll tell you one thing.
What happens?
If my worst case scenario happens, I don't think we'll be fine.
You think you'll be banged up? I mean, listen,
I think
I'm gonna be
banged up.
I'm gonna be banged
We'll
up.
fight.
But I will be able to you just compartmentalize and be just upset with the Huskers. You know, and I'll just be thinking, man, how do we make adjustments? How do we watch a tape, get better, and go on to the next week?
Yeah, it's one of those games where Nebraska's got nothing to lose. They've got nothing to lose, and Michigan's played some shaky ball the last 2 weeks. I think they're going to be total. Let me be very clear. We're going to win this game, but I'm worried about the amount we win this game by. And I think that matters just the way Will's brain works and the way you're able to really like find the small silver linings in every situation. I need Michigan to essentially cover.
No, I'll tell you.
I need Michigan to cover for the first time this year.
Is there an early line out yet, Mitch?
Oh, guaranteed there is. Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, when it comes to the gambling world, yeah, the line matters. But a look inside my brain right now.
Let's take a peek. Let's pull back the curtain on that brain.
True man-on-man, Michigan versus Nebraska. We have a real shot.
17.5.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, no,
that right there.
That feels good.
If we lost by 10, like, I'm pissed, but it's not like I'm going to spin and be like, oh, I will in the gambling world, of course.
That's exactly my point. That's exactly what I was saying. Like, if you win by double digits, the team who lost would be upset, but not in Will's brain. You're able to feel it out. I mean, it's a much closer line than I like, and that makes me worried. What does Vegas know? What is Vegas up to now?
You think that's a closer line?
Last year was 31.
Yeah, but that was justified.
Yeah, it was justified.
Or it was like 20. Yeah, it was like mid 20, something like that.
Michigan's the number two team in the country. Like they should be.
You guys weren't playing like it.
They should be. The line should be more based on a team like Nebraska, who lost to Colorado in the fashion they did, and then seeing what happened to Colorado this past weekend.
In the fashion they did, you literally watched that game next to me.
I know.
Score doesn't tell the whole story, and you know that.
I know that, but the wheels falling off. Here's where I'll give Nebraska credit, because my mind frame is not. I'm not in the frame of mind today to fight. I'm here to give flowers and best man win mentality, and that will change as the week goes on. That tape doesn't tell the whole story. And based on the way Colorado broke Nebraska in that game, I thought the season was over. You guys had 2 big wins, and you've covered 2 weeks in a row. And so Nebraska's doing this, while Michigan, they just haven't hit their midseason stride yet. They just haven't done it. I think with Harbaugh being back, you see them working through the kinks in the first half. Second half, you get there, and they really show up the way they're supposed to show up. I really hope that translates as we go into our first road game and Memorial Stadium. Great crowd there. It's going to be great. There's going to be Will Compton fans everywhere. They're probably going to put a statue up of Will Compton this weekend, which is really going to fire up the boys. The Michigan's got to.
I like us. I like us. I really do. I like us this weekend. You know how every year, like, there can be a big...
I wanted you to elaborate. Absolutely.
Well, here's what I do want to get clear. Because I don't want to argue either. Number one, I want to save my voice. This is a save for everything you got this weekend, because the energy is going to be one, like I'm excited for you to go just to experience it, because you haven't experienced Nebraska probably since you played there.
No, I haven't.
And it's going to be rocking. And I think we got a real shot. I think we got a real shot to sneak you guys this weekend. That's, when I say elaborate, I'm thinking there's always some shakeup in the college football landscape every year, around this type of week. And to me, Nebraska's in a prime position to be that team.
I will say this. I've had multiple players from University of Michigan reach out to me in the last 24 hours. Offensive linemen, running backs, even wide receivers. They're ready. They understand how important this game is, not only to them, but to me. We've been criticized. My whole crew, my whole Bussin crew, my friends this weekend, everyone coming at Michigan.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I think that has more to do with
me.
Yeah, the arrogance you walk around with Michigan.
Oh, yeah. And I get that.
And the facts that don't back it up.
What do you mean the facts that don't back it up? We've made the playoffs the last 2 years in a row. Our showing we had in the playoffs weren't great, no question, but we made it there. We went 13-0 last season. We won the Big Ten championship for a second time in a row. We've beaten Ohio State twice and once in the last 20 years in Columbus, Ohio. We beat the shit out of, I think it was Iowa this past year. and there was Wisconsin the year before that in the Big Ten championship. We are taking incremental steps. For me, the arrogance for me comes from sitting here and basically being jealous of the Wolverines and wishing I was able to play for a team like that when I was at the University of Michigan, seeing how bad we were when I was there. And we were abysmal. We didn't have a chance every single year. You drink the Kool-Aid and you're hoping to God, like, we're going to win you really think you're going to win the Big Ten championship. And if you look at it from a logical standpoint, it's like you don't have the talent. Now we have the talent. Do I have pride? There's no question about it. And it fires me up. And I see the way I'm approaching it. I can see why all the boys are like, fuck Michigan. I can totally see it. But there's a lot of pride here.
But you also make comments that like Michigan is one of the best fan bases and stuff like that.
They are. They're one of the best fan bases. Absolutely.
I know you have pride in your fan base, but when you're like, you say that they're better in Nebraska, like you truly know that is false. So it's stuff like that.
But if we're going to play a game of things we truly know is false, brother, you do that every week. And the perfect example is how many times we have to hear about if there was no turnovers didn't exist in football that Nebraska would be 3-0, because we know that wouldn't be true. They probably still would have lost.
Okay, at least 3-1 right now, because Minnesota was the last second field goal. I'll give you Colorado, but it's like
I get it. But I'm saying, like, if I want to have the stance that Michigan has the best fan base or has one of the best fan bases in college football and have reasons of why. What's the issue with that? But there's a problem when I do it. But when you say Nebraska should essentially be national champions or the best 3-9 football team of all time, Matt Rule is the best coach in college football. The black shirts are out. Blah blah blah. Best defense in all of college football.
But fair. But the game itself is a week to week deal. When fan bases is established, it's not like one's good one week, one's bad the next week. I'm talking, we put up a contest that one year. Who's going to sell the more tees? Like,
yeah, Nebraska just knows how to use the internet better than Michigan fans.
We were at Notre Dame over the weekend.
Yeah, well, we saw a couple of Michigan people.
Yeah,
we saw probably 2 Michigan people. We saw 3 Nebraska people.
Every Michigan fan we saw was wearing Notre Dame gear.
That's okay.
And Huskers is wearing like Huskers gear.
No, there was literally a Michigan guy wearing amazing blue jersey.
You would never see Nebraska fans wearing the colors of their rivals, one of their rivals.
Notre Dame is no longer a rival of Michigan.
You guys are rivals, story program rivals.
There's no question.
You had a Notre Dame sticker on your face, dude.
Yeah, because I'm supporting the hatred for Ohio State. It's different.
And you were in that rivalry with Notre Dame.
Literally, you and I are both of the stance that we need to support the Big Ten when it goes to the playoffs. Like I'm just supporting.
Well, Notre Dame's not in the Big Ten.
No, I'm supporting Ohio State getting their ass beat. So Michigan fans are fucking more stoked and more confident going into the third week in November.
You want Ohio State winning because it's better for the Big Ten.
Here's what I want. I want Michigan to win the national championship. We're gonna win this game. We're gonna win this game. I understand my arrogance has been a way, and listen. I've been nasty. I've been acting a way that is probably frowned upon. If there was a camera on me for the past 72 hours, I would look at that and go, he's wrong. He's wrong. However, it's a rivalry week. Mean things are going to be said, and I have my back against the wall all weekend. Shane came out hard at Michigan.
Yeah, yeah.
Caleb was coming at Michigan unsolicited because I really wasn't pointing my verbal rage or my confidence at Michigan at them. I was pointing it at you and Jack, because Jack in Tennessee, and for whatever reason, he's wanted to become enemies of myself and Michigan this college football season. And because of that, I understand how you two would be like, hey, fuck Taylor in this situation. But if my back's against the wall and I'm literally trying to fucking fight it out, I probably said some things I didn't mean. And if there was a camera, I would have fucking probably taken it back. But it is what it is. That said, I really believe that Michigan's going to win by more than 17 points. And I believe they'll cover in this game. And if you'd like to make a bet, I will make a bet with that.
I'll make a bet based on the conversation we've had this year about how high you'd be willing to go on the spread to cover.
And the exact conversation was, I bet Michigan covers this year.
We can just try and figure that out.
Yeah. It's all right. What are you trying to figure out right now?
I'm just going to see.
Oh, he's got a clip, don't you? This is what I get for spat my mouth up. What did I say? What was the conversation we got into?
You could be right. Like maybe there's nothing here that justifies it.
We had a conversation. I was like, oh, it was Penn State, Michigan. I was like, Michigan's going to crush Penn State. And then you're like, crush? You hit my keyword crush when I was really just trying to put emphasis on how good Michigan is. And yeah, I did backtrack. It's good. That's going to be a good fucking game. That's going to be an absolute battle royale. But I'm a big enough man to know when I fucked up, when I've been a little rude. I have been a little rude. But you've also been a little bit rude. And you haven't said a word.
You said the line last year was 31.5. I'm more than willing to bet that we do the same.
What did you just read? A note in
Portnoy, in that, remember that little group chat we were having?
Yeah, the line. You're reading it as they would cover 31. I'm reading it as they would cover the line. I'm saying they will win by more than 17 points. If you want, I'll give you 20.
Okay.
All right, what do you want to bet?
1,000.
Okay, so Michigan's 20. Michigan by 20 points, $1,000. Jack, do you want to make a bet?
Sure.
Are you betting against Michigan or are you betting against Nebraska?
Get on the same action.
Yeah. I mean, I probably won't do it for 1,000, but
yeah, just get in on the action, dude.
yeah, well, let's just do 200.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Who are you rolling with this year?
You'll have to tune into my video that will be released pretty soon.
That is
We're going videos, each guy.
I'm not going to make a video.
Who are you going with?
Mitch?
You know who he's going with.
I cannot root for Michigan, so I am rolling with Will in Nebraska.
There's a strong possibility, folks, that we're going to see the whole entire Bussin crew against me this week. And that's okay. I've been lonely before.
You might not have the other two. Have the other two said what they're doing?
JP, you know JP's going. He's literally told me to my face, after what you did in South Carolina last year, I'll never go for Michigan again.
Yeah, what he did for you for Michigan, Nebraska.
Yeah.
When he that one hurt. That one hurt when he did that.
But if you look at it, every time I've rooted against South Carolina, they play really well. Georgia this past weekend, the upset. So maybe I'm doing something for South Carolina that he doesn't fully understand. Jack's a wild card to me. I can see him for the joke going with you, but I feel like that's my guy. He's gonna come to Michigan.
He might. You never know.
And then G's up in the air for me too.
That plus 20.
I've said some things about Alabama, which I do think Alabama's. I mean, they're sus this year in a big way, and I've said that to G a few times. And I could see him taking that personal.
They had a nice GBOT game against Ole Miss. But they
should have had a GBOT game against USF. And they literally won that game, 13-3?
No, it was more than that.
Was it?
7. It wasn't by much. I mean, you're right. But I'm saying, like, that was a good GBOT game because they went back to Milroe as the quarterback, because last week they tried up 2 other guys.
Yeah.
And they really needed that win against Ole Miss with Kiffin, because they're obviously ranked as well and everybody had them. Ole Miss, that was their moment to upset them. And the boys showed out. Not only showed out, but they covered as well. So that was a big win for Bama. Should we start speaking of that, should we start passing out some nuts?
I think we should. Let's read an ad and let's pass out some nuts. Right after that, we'll do nuts.
Okay.
Just stick around with us, folks. We need this.
You want me to hit this ad?
Yep. Yeah, sure. Game time?
Game Time, the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports and Bus with the Boys, created by fans for fans. Game Time is the ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest possible price. I would say to jump on Game Time and buy tickets at Nebraska this weekend, but it's probably already sold out. However, concerts, Titans games, anywhere else, go ahead and jump on that Game Time app, because it is the biggest last-minute price drops that can be found on the seats you never thought you could buy. They'll even credit you 110% of the seat price if you can find a better deal elsewhere. Skip the hassle, enjoy the moment, download the Game Time app, or go to the website, enter your email, and redeem code BUSSIN, that's BUSSIN, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Game Time. Use the app.
You know what I'm really figuring out? I'm figuring out how to be a fan of sports. And I was reflecting on it this past weekend because I see the way that all the boys work, except for Mitch, which we'll definitely get into. But I was seeing the way everyone like rides with their sport. And I was thinking about a conversation we had during the spring football tour when we were at ASU. And Kenny Dillingham had a great point. Well, yeah, he had a great point. As Arizona's a bunch of fair weather fans in a massive way. And then I started thinking about how I grew up. And it was never like Arizona Cardinals. It was never Diamondbacks. It was never the Suns. It was like when 2001 when we won the World Series. Everyone was Diamondbacks fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the Cardinals were in 2007 were in the Super Bowl against the Steelers, everybody was Cardinals fans. And it's kind of like one of those things where it's very fair weather. And I didn't know a lot about the history of Michigan. And I never was like a massive fan of Michigan. You can see that if you watch old episodes of Bussin' with the Boys. Is like I was kind of anti-Michigan, especially when I left. I felt slighted in a lot of ways. And as I'm leaving football, and in whatever capacity that is, regardless of how you look at it, one foot's out the door, one foot's in the door. I can see myself like becoming more of a fan of Michigan again, and like trying to figure out like what that means to me. And what really got my mind on it was when we were in the bookstore in Notre Dame. And we were in the bookstore at Notre Dame, and you put a jersey, and I thought to myself, yeah, that jersey looks good. And there was no name on the back of the jersey. And I was like, I can wear that. And you said, oh, I was going to grab you one. But the boys mentioned that the whole bit about that Krista Lee actually called us out and called me out on about how like the whole name on the back of the jersey. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if I feel that way anymore. And it's just funny how now that like perspectives have changed, I'm like now legitimately learning how to be a fan of sports. Because before that, I never was really a fan of sports.
Right.
Sitting there watching the games on Saturday, getting fired up, seeing like Notre Dame and the history there, touchdown Jesus, all that, like firing you up in a way that I've never really been fired up before.
That are just like, it's just so fun being in those atmospheres. It's
so fun being in those atmospheres. And before, I literally used to think like, that's so fucking lame. I really thought that way. I was like, how are you guys like massive fans of sports and stuff like that? And then being in the position I am right now, obviously the fall's going on. I'm not wearing a helmet right now. And you see it and you're like, yeah, I get it. Because you like, even the Titans Cleveland yesterday, I'm sitting there watching the Titans and it's an abysmal game by the Titans. They didn't play very good at all, but I'm justifying things in my head of why the Titans aren't doing certain things. And I'm like, oh, before you used to just look at it black and white. And now I can see myself finding the silver lining, finding the gray area and stuff like that. So it is cool becoming a fan of sports when really I never really possessed that quality growing up. So
that's growth.
It is.
I'll tell you what, you're my Who's Nuts player of the week right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll fucking take that.
Yeah.
I will take that.
Because we were having that conversation. I was like, I think I referred to the talk about Buc-ee's and using Spooktober. And it's like, you just feel that energy on like the buy-in. And when you're like,
yeah,
because I was telling you, I was like, man, I was going to, because I was wearing the 1 jersey and I was going to get 11 because it's like 1-1, 7-7 type thing. And the boys had mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah, it could be a tough, number one, he might not do it, but it could be a tough look. But like hearing that right there, that is growth.
Fires you. And I've thought about it a bunch, but I thought, yeah, maybe let me say something. And the thing that's wild too is like, when Will told me that, I sat there and I was like, had insecurity about buying the jersey. I was like, oh, I can't buy this jersey because it's not a battle I can truly fight without saying something about it. Just showing up in jersey and be like, yeah, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So I literally just put a shirt on, thinking to myself, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's literally a piece of apparel that I'm never going to wear again. But man, I should have just wore the damn jersey. And it's just, it's nice.
It's good to hear all of that perspective, because at times we're, like, I know, like, just being a fan of football and all this stuff and knowing that you haven't been, knowing that you kind of find your way in it. And then also I always think of the times where you're just, I just know that you're not always into it.
Mm.
And then hearing like the growing up in Arizona and all that stuff, because all that stuff does to me matter, because
plays a factor.
Yeah, because it's like what all goes on in some of the states that are more inland and everything else, or is the South with the SEC, and you can see some of these tailgates and how it really doesn't mean a whole lot to college football perspective up in the Northeast, and you can kind of start to understand a little bit why and their mentality about it, and just how cool it is that you get to grow up in some of these states that are like all in on some certain sports or something else. But it's just cool to hear, like, I don't know, I guess you talk about like the Arizona and knowing that it's like, when Dillingham said that, it's like, yeah, because there's just other stuff that goes on, and you're just, because now you're around it, and especially obviously with the show that we have and getting to go around and do all the cool stuff, you're around so many different energies to where it just makes you buy into the spirit more. Like, that's why I wanted to, get into the Notre Dame spirit. It's like, man, look at these people. And there was a part of me that I wanted to go to Notre Dame growing up, going to a Catholic school and everything else. And it's just like, man, this is so sick.
It's dope.
And seeing last year when we went to Tennessee, and I'm like, that's going to be my second school, because you get to be around these tailgates. You get to see number one, the support for Bussin' with the Boys, and people that just fucking love it. And you're just like, yeah, I want to be part of this energy.
Yeah.
What do I need to do? Give me an orange shirt.
And it's always interesting to see like the different fan bases and how they operate. Like this is going to be in my good, the bad, the ugly. But when you're looking at Notre Dame fans versus Ohio State fans, when we're walking down the thing, Ohio State's yelling OH, everyone else is yelling IO, and then Notre Dame's just kind of watching, like walking.
We had to get
we tried to do a fuck Ohio, and no one
outside of the bar. We did it at the bar.
Yeah, at the bar, and I think there was a handful of people right around us, but when we were chanting, I was looking around, not a whole lot of people were saying it.
In the bathroom, it wasn't happening either. We were trying to get some juju going.
Oh yeah, right when we walked in the game. Going. So it is one of those things where, because I like a perfect example is Jack saying we with the Titans, we with the Volunteers, and literally last year I was there be like, we, what you mean we? You ain't playing, and now I'm not playing for the Titans, and I'm not playing for Michigan, but I'm literally tweeting out we and saying we. It's like you learn, like, I get the perspective now.
Yeah,
you understand it, because it's a wild concept to me to see people being such a massive fan of their school. And even when I was at Michigan, I'd be like, what do y'all, so why is your life riding or dying on the wins and losses? And you can see how people fucking get into it, which is
it's the best.
It's so much fun.
Sometimes feeling shitty is fun. And it goes in, like, think of the people we're going to be promoting Spooktober all month. Like, we want people to buy into Spooktober. Think everybody was like, a holiday for an entire month. Like, that's stupid. But it's like,
not.
If you just buy into the spook and the theme that comes with it, the pumpkin spice lattes, it's soup season, and just the transition into fall and buying into Halloween, you're not going to not smile enjoying it. Why would you not want some joy? And that's like going in all these tailgates and the atmospheres of wanting to be with the team. It's like, you just want community. And when there's a good community of fans and just people who are like, we're relating over this one common thing, and it fires me up.
And it's fueling the entire day. It's fueling the entire season.
Yeah.
Like between August and January for college or February for NFL, you're literally just like, some people you just talk to only about that.
Yeah.
Like that's what your foundation of your entire friendship is around. And that's where the opportunity of Spooktober comes into play, because all it is chasing a feeling. You're chasing a high of feeling the weather breaking and being like, I love the way I kind of get that warm, fuzzy feeling in my tummy when that moment happens. When you walk over to a coffee shop and you see the pumpkin spice latte and you see like the flavored seasonal beverages, and you're like, only this time of year would I see that. You see leaves falling and you're like, this is the only time you're ever going to feel this, because in a month or two, you're going to be looking forward to is you're in Thanksgiving and you're in Christmas, but the beautiful browns and different colors of the leaves are now gone. This is your opportunity to enjoy it. So Spooktober is all it is being present. It's just being present in the day-to-day of just doing a little something to take advantage of that 1%. Doing a little something to be like, man, let me grasp this feeling for a moment, even if I'm having a tough Monday. Yeah, we're low on sleep. We're a little hungover, still 2-day hangover. You had a little bit of the scaries yesterday, but now you're like, man, but this is coming up. This is exciting. The Bussin Bowl is this weekend. Like grabbing small little victories, small little W's everywhere, as if they're just like confetti flying in the air. Can you snatch one? Can you grab it? Can you hold it and put it in your pocket for a moment? Because if you can, brother, what a moment.
And to me, the biggest thing is if doing that on your own, trying to manufacture that mentality on your own, is way harder than knowing there's a pack out there for this. There's a team, there's a group, there's a fans. There's like, that's the pack you want. There's a Spooktober pack out there. Like, even with fandom, it's like, your boy, I'm a pack animal. So even when Nebraska's out of it last year, when I'm going for Big Ten, it's like, oh, there's a group out there that we're trying to fucking get this in. Like, give me in that team. Get me with that squad.
Yeah, dude.
Same with Spooktober. It's like, that there's people out there. We're building. There's community.
Finding the village.
Yeah.
Finding the village and just establishing the foundation. And here we are, dude. If you're walking down the street and somebody says, embrace the spook, just hits you with, hey, brother, fall's here. And you're just like, it's nice to know for the next 20, 25 minutes, I'm kind of high off that.
Yeah.
Walking into the next thing.
Happy Spooktober. And in that moment, we both know what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
And
we're fucking here.
The boys.
And we're holding it.
We're all the boys.
Sense of community is such a hard thing to find outside of your immediate family.
If somebody says, yo, Spooktober, you're going to think to yourself, if somebody even looks at you and goes, hey, happy Spooktober, you're going to think in your mind, fucking the Spooktober squad.
They're here.
We've gotten to create.
We're riding.
is riding right
Dog,
now.
You see somebody and they're just wearing the shirt. Like you'll be walking through an airport and they're wearing a Spooktober shirt, and one of us will see it. Maybe Jack's walking right next to me. He'll just fucking tap me on the shoulder. Hey, you see it? Look at that. And you know, of all the people in this airport that I don't know, I know this guy the most. I know him the most, and I know if we caught eyes together, there'd be a slight nod and a walk by, maybe even a wink, where you're like, we both understand what we had to do here. We understood the assignment. Let's keep moving
And their
forward.
girlfriend's gonna say, like, what was that about? They're gonna be like, oh, this is Bus with the Boys. It's
Yeah.
October. It's just, I'll get you involved.
one
We
of
gotta
those
watch this
deals.
movie.
Yeah. I'll
wouldn't
show
get it.
you.
Or, I'll show you. Follow me.
Yeah. And you just take one, dude,
It's
and that's why that
alright.
beautiful movie, Pay It Forward, came out. You're just helping one person who helps two people, helps two people, and now you got an army, and you're embracing something so beautiful, dude. But with that said,
Let's get into some football
let's
talk.
get some
dude.
nuts of the
Let's
week,
get some
dude.
Football talk. My nuts of the week. I'm going with you.
Wow.
But go and you go ahead, hit yours.
My nuts of the week is going to go to Tyreek Hill, dude. The guy is just truly proving that he's an unguardable individual, and it could have gone to the entire Miami Dolphins organization, tying a franchise record of 70 points. Like it truly is. It's unbelievable what they're doing over there. That head coach, they're special right now. And if they can stay healthy, you're looking at something real special in South Florida.
They're vibing out there.
And it changes week to week. Last week I was super high on the Cowboys. They get dummied by the Arizona Cardinals, who you had a great take about how they're flies, they're gnats, and you gotta
I
kill them
appreciate
every
that,
single
man.
week. And so that's my nuts of the week, dude. But let's talk some ball, man. What do you want to start?
We could go over the good, the bad, the shit that gets you beat, where we talk about whether over the weekend what we saw that is good, shit that we saw that is bad, and the shit that will get you beat.
Let's do
10 out of 10 times. Do you want to start off with your first good, or would you like me to?
My first good was Dolphins 70 points. My first good's going to go to CJ Stroud, who might be the greatest Ohio State quarterback of all time. 280 yards passing, and I believe it was 2 touchdowns. They played a good ball game. He played a good ball game. He showed some promise in Houston, who I believe is one of the top 3 worst teams in the NFL. Having that showing, if you have a young quarterback, a first-round quarterback
man.
at that, what's that?
Especially rookie. I mean,
If you're a rookie quarterback and you just have a singular good game, and win, lose, draw, you just have a good game, you're giving the entire fan base, that entire village, that the people there, that hope. That's like, this guy just showed us the potential of what he could be, and we have a lot to look forward to, regardless of what's going to happen this season. So my good goes to CJ Stroud.
I love that. Then that game, no question. CJ Stroud, it is really cool to see him, because Houston as an organization in the last, in recent years, like they've been at the bottom, dude.
Yeah.
And for him to be a rookie quarterback doing his thing and getting a tough win against Jacksonville. Jacksonville pissed me off because I was riding them, obviously, to cover, but it's just like, I also think that they're supposed to be one of the best teams in the AFC right now, and they're just not showing that. It's like they had a tough loss against Kansas
Jags?
City. Yeah, Jags. And then you lose to Houston. It's just like, boys, what are we fucking doing?
Yeah, you gotta win. You gotta win those ones if you want to be the team that people claimed you to be. You gotta win. You gotta win those games.
Trevor, like, let's start wheeling and dealing out there. You guys got the talent.
Yeah, because the offense didn't play well against Kansas City, which is, it's impressive because the game was so low scoring with a team like Kansas City. You're like, hey, their defense is good. The Jags next week are going to put it on Houston and get back on track, and then something like that happens. It's like, yo, that's wild. And really shakes up the AFC South, because we saw what happened with the Colts too. But go ahead, who's your nuts?
My good is the Bills. I think the Bills, after a tough start that very first week, there was a lot of headlines and questioning, going into last week. Whenever they played the Raiders, they took care of business. And then this week at Washington and beating them by like 30 points and holding that offense to 3 points alone. It's just like, I think the Bills are back on track right now. Like a tough squad, which is going to be awesome in the AFC North or the AFC East.
AFC East. Wait.
Right? Bills. Yeah, Bills,
Bills.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
Patriots are, they're going to be tough always. And, Jets, you still never know.
Jets, you kind of know now. The Patriots just beat the Jets. Zach Wilson, dude, it's tough because they have such a star-studded cast everywhere else.
Yeah.
They just need a guy, and there's talk about them bringing a quarterback in, and it's like, what are you going to do? Because Rodgers is talking about coming back in mid-January or whatever. talking about going on another ayahuasca trip and just getting wild and going to come back and like do this amazing thing. I don't know if they make the playoffs.
Their team's starting to like implode. They're yelling at each other and stuff on the sidelines and
That's
stuff.
so
good,
tough, man. That's so tough.
Especially the offseason that they had. That does suck. If you are going to salvage and you're still like we got to win, I think you got to look at replacing Zach.
Yeah, but if you replace Zach, you got to figure out somebody that's good enough to replace Zach, but that's not going to cost you a whole lot of money because once Aaron comes back,
it's Aaron's.
Given the fact that he's going to stay, like someone brought up a comment like, hey, trade for Kirk Cousins. That's a terrible idea. And here's why it's a terrible idea. When you bring Kirk Cousins in, yes, the Jets now are like one of those teams that's like, yo, are they going to win it? Could they actually win it? Because they have the team around it. Kirk can sling it. The defense is really good. You get that energy. But now Aaron comes back and you have two guys who are making so much money that you're like, what do? Do you trade Kirk now for probably a lesser value because they have to trade, so that now the game of chess comes into play? Or do you get rid of Aaron because Aaron's got only a couple more years left, Kirk's got a longer shelf life, and so it's like you got to get someone who's obviously better than Zach Wilson, but not quite of the caliber that those top two tiers.
Like you're trading it all to get a piece that you're only going to use for this year.
And it's tough because the AFC East, you said it's a great friend. It's a great division because we talked about Miami already. We talked about you're good to the Bills. The Patriots, they're going to be in it because they have such good coaching staff and their defense plays really well and hopefully they control the clock. But like, if you have two good teams, I mean, one's going to win the division. The other one's probably going to make the playoffs. Like you're going to be out on that.
Bills and Jets might be.
Huh?
Bills and Jets might be
Bills and Miami.
Oh, yeah, Bills and Dolphins.
Yeah.
Might be the best two teams in the AFC right now.
Yeah. I mean, who else is in there?
The Chiefs.
Yeah.
But I mean, they dummied the Bears. Like you got to take that with a grain of salt.
I know, but even in the AFC,
no, Bears are dead.
Like, look at the AFC West. Chargers. I mean, they get the first win.
They're starting to talk about.
And that's a good ball club. We were talking about contenders in the offseason, so everybody's talking about the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders are a good ball club. The record doesn't reflect it. The Raiders are a damn good ball club. Browns showed themselves a little bit. I don't know if they're going to be that. Ravens, Bengals are obviously 0-2. I think they lose. I think they lose this weekend too. I think the Bengals start 0-3 this year.
Did you all see the Chargers Vikings that last drive of the game?
I did not.
I saw.
Did you see what the Chargers did?
No, but I saw that Kirko hit it through an interception.
Well, no, the Chargers had there was 2 or 3 minutes left. Chargers were up obviously, and they were they went for it on 4th down on their own 35.
Staley
got stuffed, and now the Vikings have the ball on the Chargers 35, and all they need is a touchdown. Now Kirk threw an interception, but I was thinking to myself watching it how can you make this decision right now? The Vikings had, I think, one timeout. You punt it, they have to go the entire field to score a touchdown. They don't need a field goal; they need a touchdown. I think if you make that 4th down decision, you don't trust your defense to stop the Vikings.
But it's also Staley's got the history of just going for it on 4th down all the time.
I agree, but
back to if you're on your 35,
that's a dumb move.
What's a dumber move for you? That or the Raiders? That or the Raiders field goal?
I didn't see the Raiders.
I mean, was it 3 minutes 45 seconds left? Down by 8.
So part of my bad is kicking a field goal down 8 with under 3 minutes left when you're inside the, I believe, 10-yard line. You're in the red zone.
Yeah, that's one of my bads too. But do you have any more goods?
Yeah, I can rattle them off.
Yeah. Did you just do one? You just went. So
weekend at Notre Dame, bet the bus. Did not lose any money. We went 4-0-1 over the weekend. Notre Dame being the only push. Nebraska run defense is number 2 in the all Power 5 conferences. Nebraska's rush offense is 2 in yards per game. And Nebraska's defense is 6 in sacks. That's my good. Just, now we can get into the bad.
No, my good.
What list did you have?
Good. Colts upsetting the Ravens. That's a...
Hey, Minshew.
I know you did call
Minshew,
that. You did call that. I had a massive redemption with Vince Vaughn. Will's Rocky speech at 2 a.m. on Friday night. That's the good. That's the shit. That's how you catch dubs with the boys. And The Titans, knowing that they're probably going to bounce back this week after a loss like that, they always catch a win.
That's
so
the good.
Shout out to them.
Oh.
Shout out to them. Probably going to make a big comeback this upcoming week. Let's get to the bad. My bad. My bad.
Because there's still a shit that gets you beat. Then.
Yeah. My bad. Going back to Baltimore and the Colts, the no call versus Zay Flowers with EJ Speed. Guy draped all over him. They were about to get into an even closer field goal range with 3 minutes and 49 seconds left. That's ridiculous. The guy that said he would be in the league if the league could only have people that were 5'8" or under during the weekend, that shit's the fucking bad, dude. Notre Dame's fan base rolling over before the game. I kind of touched about it, how like Ohio State fans were pretty loud and a little bit nasty. Notre Dame fans were just like,
they didn't want to match the energy.
They weren't trying to match the energy. That is the bad. You have to do a little bit better. And the bad also being a fan of a team and not having any gear when you're at one of their games. That's my bad.
My bad was, I said it a minute ago, but kicking a field goal down 8 with under 3 minutes left. That's the Raiders. The Cowboys talking all that shit. Michael Parsons talk about, I'm hunting you next weekend or whatever. And then, losing. Mitch, as an Ohio State fan, you just kind of touched on it, but I am directly calling him out. He fucking sucks as an Ohio State fan. Swifties in the NFL.
Swifties in the NFL.
Do we want to unpack any of that?
I don't think there's anything to unpack, is there?
I mean, we did have a video when I was asking Frank, what does this look like? I mean, when you talk about yourself as an Ohio State fan, that being your favorite college, we did have a nice come to Jesus moment because Mitch was not wearing any Ohio State gear or any red, like not even color. Dark, like a maroon red. You had Bussin colors on.
I'm not going to wear this. This is like the only red shirt that I have.
If that's the only red shirt, you should have been wearing that over the weekend.
Chiefs.
So what? You take tape, you put it over, and you put an O. If you're trying to manufacture,
white tape, half inch.
Yeah, if you're trying to manufacture something, you have to do it as a fan. Like, that is exactly why you would be considered a fair weather fan and not an all-in fan, because I personally think that is bullshit. That you're claiming to be such an Ohio State fan from Pennsylvania, by the way, and you also like Penn State. That, and you also, Philly's not your favorite, the Kansas City Chiefs are. That plays directly in to being like a Cowboys, Yankees front runner, dude. Front runner. Because if you want to be in the trenches, you got to be in the trenches with your squad, and you weren't.
Okay, maybe I wasn't in the trenches with Ohio State because they haven't been in the trenches since I've been a fan, which was like 06.
It just shows that you're just like,
but
you're a fucking country clubber.
For the Chiefs, I have jerseys of Priest Holmes, Jamal Charles, Larry Johnson. So I'm a Chiefs fan through and
Mitch,
through. But
as a Ohio State fan, is the bad.
When it gets to an Ohio State fan, yes, it's bad. I don't have any gear. I've been fucking shopping and shit this morning to make sure I can fix that. And you and I were talking after the game. You saw how much it was bothering me because you're like, bro, like I see you, like I know you're a fan, but like you just.
I know that you care, and I know that you are of the cloth of foxhole type guy. Foxhole type cat, you can take criticism, you can do all this stuff. And I knew that giving you that talking to was going to hurt you. And you were going to immediately start shopping because you thought to yourself, instead of Will's attacking me, you thought to myself, yeah, he's fucking right. I got to pick my shit up.
That says a whole lot about you.
It does.
This says a whole lot about your character, Mitch.
No doubt. And I know I need to change. I need to fix it.
Because Mitch goes, I do have an AJ Hawk jersey in Pennsylvania at my family with home. Like his dad's literally saying, I'm going to send you that jersey overnight. Like I knew he would text his parents right away because he's like, I have stuff in Pennsylvania. And I'm like, that shit should have been shipped here overnight last week.
It's also like old stuff, so it wouldn't have fit me anymore, but I agree. I'm putting my hand up. I need to be better.
You got to love the accountability. Yeah, Swifties in the NFL. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But Swifties in the NFL.
It's something to chirp, and it's also the Chiefs who you have a vendetta against.
I think it's a lose-lose situation for Travis because Swifties are fucking ruthless. They're waiting for him to mess up, waiting for him to make a mistake, so they can hate him. The NFL, on the other hand, is waiting for this to become a distraction. So when he has one bad game, he then is distracted. Taylor Swift is the problem. I don't see it being a good situation for him. Either way, it doesn't seem like it's going to work out in the end.
All good points, Jack. All good points. I feel like the Kelsey brothers are just on an ascension that's just so wild right now. And Hall of Famer, right? He's a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
I feel like he's almost like, as far as the NFL piece goes, bad game, no bad game. Like, yeah, there's going to be some rumblings from the haters. Those, the Twitter logos with just the egg on it, those type of individuals, those guys are going to really get after him. But he's shown time and time again, even after having bad games, coming back and having yards after yards. And the true fans can now come and say, hey, what about this? Now with the Swifties, you're seeing the pop culture world right now. A lot of Swiftie fans are calling this fake, saying that this is not even a real thing. This is a ploy by Travis Kelce's company, because if you see Taylor, she's not saying anything about it. She never says anything about it. And they're walking with each other during the post game or whatever, and they're not even holding hands. And so is it, are they just talking? Are they just courting? Are they just friends? Is it a big gimmick? Who really knows?
I mean, she's sitting with his mom in the box.
I know. Isn't that crazy? And how do things transpire that quickly?
Picking up, like cleaning up the suite and stuff too. Like, I think Swifties are in shambles because they don't want it. And I think
you got to be careful.
I'm just saying.
Just like Jack said, they go hard. Yeah,
I think Swifties are in shambles, are they not? A lot.
We need a lot. Podcast will literally get canceled.
A lot of some of my content. Like, I know Dave is a big Swiftie. I know Kelly Keeks is a big Swiftie, so I'll kind of get some of my content a lot from her because I know she is in hell right now. She hates it. Like, because
why does she hate it?
They're coming in the world of the NFL. It's like, here's a question: is Travis Kelce bigger than Taylor Swift? Here's my thing. Swifties, welcome to the NFL. This is a bigger audience. The NFL audience is bigger than the Swiftie audience. And Taylor, to me, is having fun. I got to, guess what? I'm having fun because I'm now playing blank space in the car at breakfast cooking. Like, love the player, or because she loves the players and he loves the game. Because we're young and we're reckless. We'll take this way too far. They know that they're doing this right now and they're having fun. And low-key, it fires me up. It gives me a little bit of juice because I know the Swifties are in shambles about it, but I know that they're taking this thing too far. They're having a good time. They're being young. They're being reckless, dude. Being wild. They're living in the moment. And I root for that.
Hell yeah.
I like the way you rounded that off, but it didn't make a whole lot of sense. Because you started by saying that the NFL audience is bigger than the Swiftie audience.
Yeah.
And it's not, dude.
You don't think the NFL audience is bigger than the Swifties?
She is selling out every single stadium multiple times a day. She is like around the world, has the biggest fan base. She's our modern day Michael Jackson.
Hey, look at the NFL's Instagram account has 27 million followers. Taylor Swift has 272 million.
But now there's a but.
Dude, over 10 times.
You could get rid of 100 million followers and still have 150
There's
million
no
on
doubt.
the NFL.
How many followers?
27 million to 272 million.
How many people watch the Super Bowl?
8.
They said that Taylor Swift's most
Billions.
recent tour.
No, like 70 million, I think, watched the Super Bowl.
70 million.
She still has
Her tour that
3 times the amount of followers.
Wait, how many followers she got?
272 million.
272.
Yeah.
But how many are
Almost 4
bots?
times. 20%?
They said that Taylor Swift's most recent tour literally shifted the American economy. Like it affected the actual our U.S. economy.
And that's not even, and also that's brother, that's bubble thinking. That's bubble thinking because you're in America, and I get it. Hold on, football is North America's greatest sport, but you walk outside of North America and you're literally looking at soccer, F1, even basketball, dude. Even basketball is more universally liked more than that. Taylor Swift is loved in every single country, dude. Every single country, Taylor Swift is absolutely loved. And it's like, that is, I love you, but that is like the reason why people hate America just now.
And guess what? You know who's going to take the W here?
What?
The NFL.
Yeah, there's going to be way more exposure to the NFL. Absolutely.
Way more.
But we're talking about different arguments. What Jack said, the lose.
We're just talking about my
I think
brain,
those 2
dude.
points are good points for lose. But the wins for Travis Kelce is getting this. Travis Kelce is now becoming a list celebrity. He's gone from that C-B, and now he's going up because universally everyone's going to be like, hey, who's this Travis Kelce guy? The people that don't watch football, he's now going to have more and more followers. He's winning in that circumstance. The NFL is going to be massive winners because regardless of how long this thing lasts, let's say it lasts half the season, the amount of views on just Chiefs games alone are going to triple next weekend.
Swifties, welcome to NFL Sunday.
Yeah, but also
you now have to take time to live in this bubble of the NFL, which is the best bubble to be in. NFL fandom, bro. Football fandom.
I would almost argue that college fandom's better than
Think
NFL
about this.
fandom.
I would bet you.
I guarantee the Swifties would say that being a Taylor Swift fan is better than being in the NFL.
Swiftie?
Well, yeah, they're going to say that. They're going to say that. But what Will's arguing, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Listen, there's a lot of arguments going in my head. I think what I enjoy the most out of this type of trolling attitude is NFL fans don't care about, will never have to or care about the bubble without just embracing the bubble of Taylor Swift. Swiftie fans probably, I would assume, hate the culture of like football fans and guys. And now they have to partake and sit at the table with us and enjoy your food. Make yourself cozy.
Enjoy this.
Enjoy this.
Listen to us, drink this beer, listen to loud 80s rock and roll music,
Yeah.
get after it, paint our faces with our tarps off, nipples hanging out, belligerent fan bases.
Because I'm, that right there's a perfect example of an NFL fan. Like, I am now listening. I'm like, oh yeah, get throw some Taylor Swift and think about, start to put all these clues together. Oh, she's writing some music here. Oh, this is what she means here. This is what she means there. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I love that, man. You know what I enjoy? Bojangles, dude. I enjoy Bojangles and their famous chicken and biscuits, dude. Bojangles now has more family meal options for your next tailgate or gathering, so you can focus on the fun and leave the food to Bojangles. Each Big Bo box comes ready to serve with 8, 12, or 20 pieces of hand-breaded, boldly seasoned chicken, southern fixins, scratch-made buttermilk. If you haven't already, download the app and get a free Cajun filet biscuit with promo code BUSSIN. That's BUSSIN. It's bow time, boys. We've been on the fall tour, especially in the South, being in South Carolina and Georgia. They go hard, man. People at Bojangles go hard. The fans of Bojangles go hard. They're having a good time. We had an opportunity in Columbia, right? South Carolina. Have a little fun with that. So that was good, dude.
Dude, and they got some wings coming out. Are we allowed to say that?
I don't know if we can, but they have wings. We can say whatever we want. They have wings coming out.
They used us to taste test.
Yeah.
And they were nice.
They have, here's what, here,
They had them in Athens.
yeah. If we're doing,
They have it in Athens too.
yeah, the presentation was incredible. Here's what I'll say about Bojangles. If you guys are taking criticism, if you guys are taking notes, cook them things a little bit longer, make them a little more crispy. I think the seasoning, the sauce is delicious. You got something. You got something if you go and do that, dude. We didn't even talk about the stuff that gets you beat.
I got. We can run through our list.
Yeah, run through it real quick. Ready? You want me to go or you go?
Go ahead. You.
Okay, stuff that gets you beat. Raiders kicking a 3 versus Steelers down 8 with that little time left in that red zone. You need to go and score a touchdown and go for 2. Doing Zins over the weekend, trying to be cool and fit in when you've been 21 days sober. 10 men on the field for the last play of Notre Dame game. Notre Dame not serving alcohol in the stadium. Trevor Lawrence versus Houston. That's, you play like that, brother, you're gonna get beat every single time. And Justin Tucker seeming overly confident before he missed the field goal kick to seal the game versus the Colts.
Yes, mine is 10 guys on the field for the final play against Ohio State. The Broncos defense giving up 70, over 700 total yards. The Titans, the Bears dead and resigning for family reasons, then hiring an attorney.
Resigning for family reasons.
That was the Bears DC.
Yeah.
I mean, Chicago.
Chicago's abysmal.
Yeah.
They're abysmal.
They're playing for Caleb Williams, right?
They are. They're unfortunately they're the joke of the NFL this year.
Yeah.
Because they were so overconfident, and you could literally see it changing during the draft. You saw how confident they were in the draft, and literally after the first pick, they're like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah.
No disrespect to that kid from Tennessee. I'm sure he's going to be a good ball player, but.
And I think the performance by the Titans.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good to come out of that game. A lot of
There
good.
will be.
You're going to see a lot of stuff that you shouldn't do.
Tangled.
Get Derrick Henry into his 4th or 5th step. You're going to be successful. That's all I need to say.
They're not getting him in that
Protection. I'll tell you what was.
Protection was insane. Literally, Myles Garrett is now an offensive player to where the offense now has to adjust where he's going. Did you see that play?
I was just going to say that. That was not the greatest look in Tennessee Titans franchise history.
I mean, that was
hard. The amount of people that I got tweeted at about coming back to the Titans, and I'm like 260 pounds.
I personally texted you.
Oh yeah,
I said, this is literally
this is your fault. Not only did you text me that, and then I went on the computer And I saw on Twitter you saying that last play is on Taylor.
Yeah.
I was like,
God damn it.
Yeah.
Because I'm emotionally invested in the boys.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. This is the best thing that could have happened to the Titans. Because Mike Vrabel is sitting in front of the team right now going, hey, funeral's here. We're black. They're saying we're dead. They're saying we're this. They're going to get back in the lab. The boys are going to work their ass off. They're going to control the clock. The offense is going to take care of the ball. The defense is going to play well. Just good, solid 3 phases of football. And they're going to catch themselves a dub next week. Who do they play next week?
Bengals. Great game to get back on track.
The Bengals might start 0-4 during the season.
Yeah.
And there's a weird little rivalry between the Bengals and the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
There is like a small little thing going on right now. Joe Burrow, the calf. We'll see.
Yeah, you had the playoff game that you guys had. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on there. So
it is GBO fucking T, bro.
yeah, they need to get that. They need to.
But
do
you're right.
that.
You saying it's funeral that fired me up because it
is the funeral,
like
and then Vrabel is doing a great job, literally at this moment that we're taping this, telling him how he's literally giving the speech. People are saying I should be fired. People are saying we should cut these guys. People are saying this team's dead. Go ahead, let them have the funeral. We'll just keep getting to work and we'll see what we can do. He's going to be so diligent on the team keys.
Keys of the game.
He's going to be so diligent of how to beat the Bengals this week, how to move forward. It's going to be something special, and I think Tim Kelly's special too. It wasn't obviously it was a terrible. It took
a lot of heat.
It was a bad offense experience. I think Tim Kelly is a stud. I think he's a stud, and they're going to win next week.
Who should we do our shout out? No free shout out.
Yeah, we're gonna do shout out for shout.
Do you want me to start?
Sure.
My shout out, no free shout out this week is going to go to late night Taco Bell. We got done at the Notre Dame Ohio State game. We're walking back. Obviously, the boy Shane was in disarray.
Yeah, he was on Suey alert.
Yeah. And so Notre Dame, there's not a lot there in South Bend. Like the food is like shit closed. There's only like 5 restaurants. And
2 of them are Pizza Hut and Taco Bell.
And 2 of them Pizza Hut, Taco Bell. And you got Jimmy John's. They close at whatever time. Like it's insane that you guys aren't staying open late night, especially after a game. But Taco Bell was open. We had to drive about 15 minutes to get our hands on some Taco Bell. Over $200 worth of Taco Bell that we're coming on home looking like superheroes, bringing to the boys. We put that shit down, and there was nothing like that moment of some late night Taco Bell with the boys. And I know we were down because Notre Dame lost, but it's like we capped off a top weekend of 2023.
Yeah, that weekend was incredible. And the moment you start eating and all you can hear is chewing and nostril breathing.
And that is exactly what happened too, because we were talking.
Yeah.
People were arguing, talking.
And it was a chirp
jokes
fest
are flying.
everywhere, dude. My shout out, no free shout out, is going to go to literally within an hour time frame of what Will is saying, and that is just a good old fashioned laugh attack with the boys. Dude, that when Caleb sat in the front seat and when Shane went to go pee around the corner and Shane came back and the way they were arguing, I was laughing so hard where I was trying to grasp my breath. And it's just, you sit back and you just watch that 2 drunk guys, and Caleb's just being a fucking menace. Caleb got bored and decided, I'm going to try to piss everybody off.
Yeah.
And did it to Shane. And it couldn't have happened.
Shane was
it couldn't have happened to a better person.
It's funny because you knew they were there at the line. Like Shane was at the line. Fortunately, I think our laughter helped him start getting in the jokes and everything else. Because I'm thinking like, you heard me in the thing. I'm like, hey, Caleb, come on. I'm like the brother who's like not letting it get there.
Enough.
Hey, Caleb, come on, man. You should get back. And Shane, when he's like, Taco Bell drive-thru, this where you want to die?
Right here? There's a PT Cruiser behind me?
Yeah, this is what you want to do? Yo, that was hilarious.
That's all right, I'll stand right out here.
Yeah.
I'll stand out here.
Yeah, I'll stand until you get out. I'm not leaving.
Dude, like having a laugh attack like that was so funny. And then being at the Taco Bell and him basically telling me that my whole crew wants to kill me.
Yeah.
And just laughing, having nothing remotely witty or funny to say back and just laughing about it. It was awesome, man. It was awesome.
Jack, what do you got since Mitch's he shares that with the laugh attack?
I was just going to be the giggles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine goes to shout out the emotion that live music brings you. I went to a show last night at Pilgrimage. Garrett and JP went
Which
as
is
well.
insane.
Yeah, I
Zach
can't
Bryan,
believe they did that.
And I'm like still like emotionally unavailable right now because it was just so pure and beautiful, this show. And Zach Bryan is a generational talent. He's so raw and authentic. So just that beautiful feeling that live music creates and the creativity about it. And it's just, it makes me feel pure and like there's good in the world. So yeah, shout out to live music, really. And I think I've shouted out live music like twice, but
Yeah.
it's for me, I will continue to do it every show that I go to that gives me that feeling. So I'll forever be chasing that high.
Dude, you know, if Zach or Jack was a chick, like he'd be a Swiftie.
Yeah. Do you think Jack would be a slut if he was a girl?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
You would definitely
man.
be a slut, dude.
I'd be a prude. For
No.
real.
You give crazy
Unless-
cop.
Unless.
I want to give another shout out. Can I?
Yeah, of course.
No shout out, no free shout out because you brought up the music part. On the flight to Chicago, Jack was like, "Have you not heard Blink-182's new music? I literally sent it to you. You need to listen to it, especially listen to it one more time if you want to get in your emotions." Shout out Blink-182 and that song one more time. I haven't seen the music video yet because Taylor literally goes, I need to watch it with you because I want to see you cry. Apparently that's how the music video is. Because I seen clips. Obviously, I posted one on my story today, and you could see like the back, like the green screen, obviously, of their old music videos and that while it's playing. And you listen to the words, and it's so clearly like you don't have to read anything. It's so clearly about them. It's so clearly about the adversity of their band, and just obviously my love for Blink-182. Knowing that they have an album coming out on October 20th, and knowing how excited I am that not only am I'm going to be 20 days into the greatest holiday extravaganza startup of all time, I'm going to also get my favorite band of all time, and them having an album coming out. I'm so excited about that.
I think they know that. I think they knew that.
They knew what?
Release our album during our number one fans' favorite month of all time.
Yeah. I think they're so great. I think they're so great.
Don't you love to think about it that way?
Yeah.
Like the universe is just choosing, like, this is going to be a great mix up for you.
Just literally making it all about us in any way you can. Like being like, the reason why they're doing that, they could have done November 1. Their record company probably said, hey, release it in November. They're like, no, we know Taylor loves Spooktober. This is for him. This is a tip of the cap to Lawan. When we went to that concert, dude, there was like 5 moments I literally sat there and almost cried. Just listening to that band. It was incredible.
You know what else makes me cry?
But before we talk about what makes you cry, dude, what are we talking about next after this? After this ad read? What are we? Oh, yeah. Twisted question, dude.
Question for us, or is this a partaking with Diggs?
It's up to y'all.
Okay. You know what else makes me cry? A ice cold twisted tea.
No question.
This twisted question is brought to us by the smoothest hard iced tea out there. Perfect for pool parties, tailgates, game days, all of it, boys. Keep it twisted with Twisted Tea. All of our little Twisted Kings and Queens out there, you can grab a refreshing Twisted Tea today. And for all the Swifties watching right now, Twisted Tea is available everywhere. That is the drink of choice on Sundays. So go ahead, grab yourself a Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted with the boys.
I'm glad that you brought up the Swifties in Twisted Tea, because if they're going to jump into the NFL culture like they're about to jump in a big way, they need to know the right way to tailgate, and the right way to tailgate is with a Twisted Tea.
Swifties.
Come on, come on, dude.
Different right now.
That was one of a kind, brother. What's our twisted question of the week, there, Mitchie?
All right, so this is less of a would you rather, but more of like a let's think about it. What have we done more of? Walked more steps or read more words?
Hang on. Are we reading the words out loud?
Or is it in your head?
I think it's got to be.
Like right now, I know I'm going to say it, but if I just look at the flag and see the boys, does that count as 2?
Yes. Like reading, like when you're not reading, like when you're scrolling on Twitter and stuff, that's reading words. You don't have to read out loud.
Or steps taken.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with words.
I think I'm going to go words too. You just in that ad read, you read 34 words.
Taking any steps.
Yeah, I think steps. And I just read that. I just read it again. Because if that, once you said that, the part where, hey, if you look at a sign and you just read that counts.
But think of the amount of steps you take before you even are able to read.
Yeah, but think about this, dude.
13 years old.
Think about this, the boys.
13 years of walking
before I could read. Yeah. No question. We have been reading a lot lately.
And you just got to think too, even all the time on your screen and just, I mean, there's words everywhere around you at all times.
I mean, think about like this weekend. How many steps did y'all take this weekend? When, I mean, yes, you're on.
We were in the 10,000 club for sure this weekend.
But like that's every day.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. The average reader can see about 7,500 words with just 30 minutes of daily reading.
And
you just read all that.
The average steps is 7,000 to 10,000 per day. So it's super close.
Yeah, but this is daily reading. And to Will's point, if I can read till I was 13, all those steps between 1.5 to 13, I might be changing my vote. I think it rounds off pretty even by the time you meet death if you live a full life. Because you start to get up in those upper 50s, late 60s.
All you're doing is reading.
You're hardly walking. Your step counts are going down.
It turns into more words because you're not walking as much.
Yeah, but I'm saying if the walking part is 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day, and you're doing half that before you can even read, and every day, 365 days a year for 8 years, let's say, if you can't read till you're 8, I mean, that's a hell of a jump. And then I think it rounds off at the end of your life when you're essentially just reading way more than you're actually walking.
Yeah, maybe. It's a good question. I mean, think about just the drive from Chicago to South Bend. Reading the Steak and Shake menu. All the signs.
Yeah.
Phone.
All the signs.
But also then think about those times when like you're with your family walking around and stuff that you're not really looking at your phone. You're just like at the farmer's market or you're like
reading about the produce. Kale, corn.
Yeah. It's not like you're just in nature the whole time. You're seeing shit.
Pretzels.
That would be, I mean, I think it's closer than you think.
California burger.
I think it's a runaway.
I'm reading all these right now.
That's a nice thinker right there.
That
That's
is
some good daily brain activity.
Yeah. Big comeback from last week.
Yeah.
That is a big comeback from last week. Yeah, man. I mean,
we pretty much touched on everything. How long we been rolling?
About 105.
Can we talk about Vince Vaughn?
Oh, yeah. What are we fucking talking about right now?
Dude, when we got into South Bend, Indiana, this needs to be another shout out, no free shout out. This is my shout out. Forget my other two shout out, no free shout outs. This is my shout out, no free shout out.
Okay. Listen, I got to draw the line somewhere. You can't do shout out, no free shout out 3 times.
Why not? It's our show. We literally run the show. This is our show. We can do whatever we want.
I know. I'm joking anyway.
I know you are. Hey, brother, I know you are. But shout out, no free shout out for my third time today, Steve Byrne.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys who watch the show, especially the tier ones, know about my interaction with Vince Vaughn in Cabo San Lucas back in March of 2023. It was a tough one. I've been protecting Vince Vaughn for a long time, knowing that it wasn't him, it was actually his boys. When we get into South Bend, Indiana, I shot Steve a text in a group chat with me and Will, say, hey, we're in the street as Vince Vaughn's in town. I think this weekend's all about redemption. He texts back, I'll see what I can do, ... Knowing good and well, I put Steve in a very uncomfortable situation. Because if I'm like, I don't know, let's say I'm with Derrick Henry and someone's like, hey, can I meet Derrick? I'm probably not going to go up to Derrick and be like, hey, will you go meet these guys? Will you go talk to these guys? That's just an uncomfortable thing for me to do. So I wasn't expecting very much of that at all.
If you know there's some good dudes.
Yeah, if you know they're good dudes. And obviously, and knowing the personalities too. So I didn't expect much out of that. That was Friday. Saturday, we'll call it 2:00. We're at a tailgate. All the boys. And I'm watching this TV screen. There's 4 games going on. Oregon's absolutely dumbing the hell out of Colorado, which we didn't talk about either. And Will goes, Taylor, look at your phone. And it's a text from Steve saying, this is Vince Vaughn's number. He says he knows you guys are going to reach out. He's a great guy. You guys are going to have a great time. I stare at it and I had to go take a minute for myself because legitimately I'm like, I cannot believe I have Vince Vaughn's number in my phone. And I walked away and I came to the conclusion, and Will also had the same conclusion, is this is not a good thing that we have Vince Vaughn's number. It's cool right now, but the idea of actually texting this guy
I was like,
so uncomfortable.
I feel uncomfortable with this.
Yeah.
The group chat might be a better move versus just like,
Steve putting
what did I say? I was like, And then he said something like, no, just text him. And I said, dude, so you're telling me that if I text Vince Vaughn, hey, this is Will Compton, he'll know who's reaching out to him. And he's like, he just laughed. It was like, yes.
So yeah, he's
like,
a good
oh
dude.
my God.
So Will and I, we put together, we literally wrote the same exact text out and sent it in a group chat at the same exact time, not expecting much. We knew we were going to be on the sidelines, so we are probably going to see him anyway.
Yeah.
And as we're walking into the game, Will, again, I think you're on your phone a lot this weekend.
We were trying to find Bo Pelini.
That's right. And you said, go look at your phone.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and he goes, the text, Vince Vaughn, boys, where are you? I'm on the field. And it was like, at that point, we were so focused on getting Caleb on the field because he didn't have a field pass. Everybody else did. So we had to focus on that. But in the back of my mind, I was like, oh my God, dude, what's going to happen here? We end up getting on the field with Caleb and everyone's hanging out. And the minute we get Caleb on and where he's safe and secure, the only thing I'm thinking about is like, what is this situation going to be like? And dude, it was everything. It was incredible. The coolest. We went and talked to him for 25 minutes. He invited us to go in the locker room with Notre Dame. He's like, what are they going to say? They're going to say no, truly being like his bantering self, trying to tell jokes, have fun, like really embracing the conversation and not just saying there, hey, good to meet you and moving on. Then during the game, this is the best part, dude. During the game, Will and I were actually sitting like 2 or 3 rows back. We're all on the field, but we're like, there's like, if you're looking at rows of people, it's like Vince, Shane, and them. We're sitting.
We're standing back because we're watching the big screen.
Yeah, we're watching the big screen.
Notre Dame, everybody showed out. The field surrounded.
And Vince reaches in like through two sets of people and goes, hey, boys, at me and Will, why don't you guys come up here? Come, what are you guys doing back there? Come stand up here. And then we just talk ball for 25 minutes.
You just watch the game.
After every play, kind of leaning into each other.
Guys, dude.
Football guys. Vince did say something wild. There's a turnover on the 2-yard line.
Yeah. And they were backed up.
His Irish was backed up. He goes, how about a flea flicker here? I thought, hey, maybe get a first down first before we start looking at that. It was awesome, man. It was, couldn't have gone any better.
It's one of those things. It's like Vince is one of those bucket list type humans just because early on, like high school, I mean, this dude's like half of my verbal playbook based on the quotes of his movies. I mean, Wedding Crashers is my favorite comedy of all time.
Yes.
And getting to meet him, he's also phenomenal in The Lost World, big Jurassic Park guy. But getting to meet him, it's like somebody who's influenced you before at just like a young age, and knowing that I literally got to shake this guy's hand. And not only that, that first drive happened and I was like, you got to take the 3 points here. I disagree with this call when Notre Dame went for it. And Vince was was on board with that. And I was like, yeah, man, you got to take the points here. And then I turned back around and he like taps me and he goes, like Tom Osborne. And I'm just thinking like, yo, this is fucking awesome.
Wild.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I love him and he's one of the best in comedies.
And you're sitting there and it's like, yeah. At one point I looked at Will, I was like, we got to get out of here because everything's gotten a little too perfect. But we're sitting there watching the game and you're not the one doing like starting up the conversation every single time. He's coming over too and starting the conversation as well. It was like, just boys, man. And it was awesome.
It was really cool.
It was really cool. And we texted him yesterday. Said, hey man, great meeting you, blah, blah, blah. Will sent a text. And he sent back a small little snippet. Great meeting you guys. Last play, unreal. And it's like, yo, I'll never text you again unless something else comes up that's wild. I will literally never probably text him ever again, but I have Vince Vaughn's phone number in my phone.
That might be number one.
Yeah. Like, those little TikTok things where they're like, who's the most famous person in your phone? I know my answer. And it's Vince Vaughn.
They tell you to FaceTime him though. Would you ever do that?
No, I would say I would look at him and like, there's no fucking chance I'm FaceTiming him. At least at this point in the relationship.
It's one of those moments you're just like, I don't know. You're just like, yo, this is nuts.
And dude, this is exactly.
It's like if I was like, based on the way I was talking about it a couple weekends ago, like McAfee standing in the ring with The Rock during that moment.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking like, yo, this is probably Pat's coolest moment of all time. Knowing that that's it, his fandom growing up was wrestling, like mine being that, and just thinking how iconic of a moment that was of The Rock being there and doing all that shit. It's like the Vince Vaughn knowing like the movies, the quotes, all of it. You're just thinking like you got to talk ball with somebody on the sideline. He was like cool as shit, like
Cool as
very
shit.
nice.
It was. And you know, it's so wild, dude. It's literally what we talked about at my house that one night when you and I were banged up.
Yeah.
About like, you get the opportunities, like it doesn't matter like how you approach it as long as you approach it.
Yeah.
And we did.
Yeah.
What a time, man.
It was a time. Hey, should we talk about, I mean, yeah, I know we got to get, never mind. Yeah. We got to get ready for Quandre Diggs. He's about to chime in here. Safety for Seattle. They're on a 2-game win streak right now after starting 0-1 against the Rams in week 1. Playing some tough ball in the second half. We'll get to talk with him as our recurring guest from the NFL this week, right after this ad read.
Listen,
perfect read for this weekend.
Why?
Because this is a Georgia boot type football game. Boys.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Georgia boots are designed and for the longest shift and the toughest jobs. Georgia delivers boots that are as comfortable as they are tough. Boots that you can wear from work to the bar. Blue collar comfort right out of the box. Whether you're working on the front lines, fixing that shelf in your closet, or grilling out back, these Georgias are the best boot for the job. Listen, yeah, we'll probably need those Georgias when we can get a lot of those steps, getting that step count up a lot in Lincoln, Nebraska. Georgia boots are designed for rugged. Is that rugged? Is that how you spell rugged? Wow. Rugged, demanding work environments that are built to last, making them ideal for workers in various industries. Georgia boots are designed with comfort in mind, featuring cushioned insoles and supportive technology for all-day comfort. Use code BUSSIN, that's BUSSIN, for 20% off at georgiaboots.com. So with that said, let's get in this Quandre Diggs interview.
Round of applause. Quandre
Diggs up in here.
Hey, so how familiar are you with our show? Because we want to ask you a tier talk question and do some rankings. Have you ever seen a tier talk before?
There's no bad answers here.
The crazy thing is I'm familiar. I'm very familiar because I always see it. But I don't know. I don't know about the ranking and stuff like that. But I always catch like little snippets of the show. So
yeah, you know what we call that? We call that a tier 3, brother. That's all right.
It's all right, which is okay. It's just okay.
As long as you're seeing the content, that's all that matters. Incremental steps to become great. That's what we're going to do here. Will, explain to this man what tier talk is.
So tier talk is essentially just rankings, right? Tier 1 is the best. Tier 2, second best. What do you think 3 means?
To third best.
There it is. Hey, there you go. If you want to throw an honorable mention, you're allowed to have an honorable mention.
Right.
Like we had Christian McCaffrey on a couple weeks ago, and we did plane snacks after the game. Like when you go back up to the hotel after the game, like what are your favorite snacks on the plane on the victory home or the ride home? But ours is gonna be a little more tailored to Texas Longhorn football because you guys have a deep history of athletes in general, but also safeties.
People are talking about it possibly being DBU.
Yeah, people do say, is Texas DBU?
I always say yes. You know, I mean, we've had a couple down years, you know, where some guys that came up and, you know, LSU and those guys and Ohio State, but through and through, I mean, I believe we're DBU, and I don't think that'll change anytime soon because we got some more young boys coming through there. Top
3 Texas safeties in Longhorn history.
Starting at number 3.
Starting at number 3. It's tough, but I'm gonna go Michael Griffin at 3.
The boy.
Go Michael Griffin at 3. And this one is up for debate, man. This one could be either or. You feel me? This could be 1A, 1B. But I'm gonna go just from my personal favorite. I'm gonna go with Huff at number 2, Michael Huff at 2, and then I'll go second best safety to ever play in the NFL, in my opinion. Second best free safety, and Earl Thomas. I mean,
Earl Thomas is solid. He was a hell of a blocker for Derrick Henry in 2019. Played the Baltimore Ravens. Absolutely. I think, but that just he's a multiverse athlete. He can play both sides of the ball. It's incredible. Usually with our tier talk, what we do is after you go or an individual goes, we give one word to say how we feel. So do you want to go first?
You can.
All right. Hyphenated, 1 for 3.
1 for 3.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor, he doesn't like when a white guy doesn't make the list.
Well, hold on now. I did make a list. I did make a list.
I'm gonna say solid.
That is solid.
I'm gonna say solid. Where would you put you on the list?
See, but the thing is, mine is different, bro, because I didn't play safety in college. You feel me? So I was a corner in college. So for me, I can't put myself in there. And even if I was a safety, my numbers and what those guys accomplished, I mean, those guys would probably still be my top 3.
Who were your safeties in college?
I had Kenny Vaccaro, Blake Gideon, Michael Thompson.
That's who I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Hey, you really like the white guy out there.
Yeah. He was a swaggy white boy that, put on for the culture, but you're just like,
Yeah, swaggy white. Nice. Swaggy white safeties are going to have to go to Notre Dame, though. They probably have, they got the deepest lineage there.
Yeah.
They got the deepest lineage. Will and I together as a group put together a list. And so I'll give you our list real quick. Our number 3 is going to go to Michael Griffin. Tip of the cap to him. Played for the Tennessee Titans for a long time as well. Shout out the boy and being a legend there. Our tier 2 is going to go to Nobel Doss. He played from 1939 to 1941. And then our tier 1, and this, back in the late 30s, early 40s, that's when Texas was really cranking them out at safety. It's going to go to Jack Crane, a.k.a. the Jack Rabbit. So that's our top 3. Those are our top 3 safeties for our Texas safety tier talk.
Have you ever heard of those guys?
I heard you said Noble Dawes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard of him. The other guy, nah, not so much. But
you ever heard of Jack Rabbit?
Never heard of Jack Rabbit.
Oh, he ran a 6-second 40, fastest man in the college football, they say.
You said 6 seconds?
No, it's a joke.
You know me, I'm gullible.
Yeah.
Hey.
But all right, yeah. So let's talk about this hamstring injury. Well, a lot of times when guys miss a practice or they're questionable going to a game with a hamstring, I always tend to think that guys aren't going to be able to do it because a soft tissue injury, usually the only thing that saves it is making time. For you, being able to play this past week, Pete Carroll saying, hey, we think he's going to be able to do it. Go out and you're able to do it. What do you attest that to? Like, what is your during the week process to get healthy?
I think for me, it was weird because it happened on a Wednesday. And for me being year 9, I'm one of the probably smartest practice players in the NFL because, you can get away with some lows. You can get away with some, when you're older, you can get away with some of those not bursting to the ball deals. And it was kind of one of those things. I just went to go tag a guy and I felt it grab a little bit. And I finished practice. So I knew it was okay. I finished practice and I was able to go through that aspect. But I just sat out of practice Thursday, Friday. I didn't even do the walkthrough Saturday. But I got to give credit to my coaches. Them boys, they trusted me to be able to sit and not practice Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not walk through. Then I go out and I just kind of tested on Sunday. I felt good enough to play. And then, you know what you can do. You know when you can burst, when you can't burst. And, you say those specific bursts for specific times of the games. And that's kind of what I did. And luckily we were able to go up 17 at the end of the game. And I didn't even have to play the last, series or so. So, it was just, I always like to tell people I'm built different. I got a little bit of crazy genetics in my family. So
Let's go.
I was able to get through that.
Hey, you got to love when you have the trust with the staff because, you can be on staffs or with teams at times to where, if you just were able to take care of it and they trusted you, whether to practice, to not practice, how to practice. Because sometimes when you don't, how you get that pressure from the staff, hey, if you can't be out there, we're going to have to go somewhere else. We're going to have to go a different direction. And so it's got to be nice knowing that you have that credibility and that trust with your staff because I'm sure you've came across it along the way of it just being, man, just listen, I'm not a fuck boy. I'm going to take care of my body and I'm not trying to skip. I'm not trying to do any of this. I'm just telling you, I can make this work this weekend.
Exactly, bro. And that's all you want. I've dealt with that before. One of my previous stops and I of course I got out of there real quick. So for me, I love being here. Pete, trust me, he came out and he was just like, can you go or not? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. He was like, say less. Let's get it. So it was just one of those things where I knew I could do it. I also had I think I had a 55 game straight streak of just playing. So I ain't want to miss that either. It was kind of selfish, but I was able to get through it without bothering it. So, I got a good week to rest and probably be the same kind of deal this week where no practice, and then go play on Monday.
You alluded to your last stop a minute ago. How refreshing has it been to play in Seattle?
Oh man, it's definitely been a total kind of 180 from 2018 to 2019. What I had to deal with over there, it's been amazing. But I will say, that was one of the first things Pete told me when he traded for me. He was just like, hey, we're going to let you be you, enjoy who you are. I know you like to have fun. You like to joke and do all those things. So be you. We'll never take that from you. And for me, it's been the best football I played in my career. So, I always give credit to those guys and I always tell them, how much I appreciate them from, kind of saving me from, I had a little joke back in the day. I was like, I came from the shit house to the penthouse and it's kind of what it's been, bro. It's been like that since I've got here.
That's a nice deal, dude. But when you went to Seattle from Detroit, you had Russell Wilson there. Obviously, you're at the tail end of that whole career. And then big switch happens. He ends up going to Denver. And then you got Geno Smith, a guy who's been kind of rolling around. We talked about on the bus a lot, how this guy's been more of a journeyman than an absolute stud in the league in the last 2 years, last year and now this year. Seems like he's really crushing it. What was your thought process when the whole thing happened with Russell? And how has your opinion changed of Geno since then?
When it happened with Russ, I was kind of shocked. I was rehabbing from my broken leg, and all of a sudden, everybody in the Texas training room, because I'm rehabbing at Texas, and they all looking at me, and I'm like, bro, what's going on? It's like, you don't have a quarterback. I'm just like, dang. And then I seen it. Russ texted me, and just said he was out and he was going to Denver, and then. With Geno, it was just mostly just trying to get Geno back because he was a free agent. You know what I mean? So we knew that he had played a couple games for us in 2021 and he played well in those games. And he used to, if you've seen Geno throw the football, you know what I mean? He has one of the best arms in the league, pause. And he definitely can spin the football. And, he always would kill us on we'd be Wednesday, Thursday practice. He's scout team. And he's killing us, and we get mad at him bro, that's not what a quarterback throwing the ball. He ain't doing that. But it was one of those. And I've had some experience going against Geno in college, too, and he killed us when I was there. So I've always kind of been a fan. But for him to do what he's been doing, the last year and a half, going on 2 years, it's been special. So it really wasn't that big of a surprise. Because he's always been consistent. He's always went out there and did his thing. But just knowing 2021, we played the Jags, and I think he was 14 for 14 at the beginning of the game one time. And it was this what do you do? He gets the ball out of his hands. He's going through the right reads, and the receivers were loving that.
Bro, are you surprised, now being a couple years removed without Russell, are you surprised what's happening in Denver? I feel like last year they went to Denver. They actually obviously had a tough year last year, but they fired the staff. They're, all right, we traded the house for Russ. Let's get in somebody, now they got Sean Payton, who's a very, highly respected head coach. Are you surprised seeing that 70-20 and seeing it kind of go down the way it's been going down out there in Denver?
Bro, I knew early in camp when Sean Payton was kind of doing, I feel like as a coach, you guys been in this for a long time. I feel like you never throw somebody under the bus like how he did Nathaniel Hackett. I think that's just kind of the code of, what it is. It's kind of, if me and you, if you or me and Will were safeties, I see Will do something on a Thursday night game or I see him do something, I'm not going to go tell the media. That's the worst game I've ever seen a safety play, So for me, I just kind of never liked how that go down. And I always believe in, you kind of get what you put out there. And, for the Broncos to give up 70 points yesterday and, it to go down like that, it's kind of one of those ones where you take a step back and you I bet you wish you kind of rethought those words you said about Nathaniel Hackett, about that being the worst coaching job, because I feel like they didn't have a game where they gave up 70 last year. And You had a pretty good D coordinator over there last year. He's at Carolina now. You let him walk. So some of the decisions you making, you know what I mean, you got to kind of question those. So I'm eager to see, how they respond.
Yeah, it's wild seeing them keep rustling too during that type of a blowout, making that much money.
Game's over.
Yeah, game's over. Move on, brother. Move on. Yeah. That's it. We have a segment. It is presented by Dude Wipes. We want to show them Dude Wipes. I don't know if you've used these little things. Sometimes, I don't know how it is, the Seahawks facility, that toilet paper hurts the bum a little bit. With these boys right here, they're flushable, they're nice, they'll handle it, no problem.
They do handle it. It is nice.
They'll handle you, no problem. And it's a sensitive area. So it's basically the shittiest moment. Are we going to do season or are we going to do...
Let's do both.
Season and career?
Yeah.
So the question, the Dude Wipe shitty moment, is going to go to, what is your shittiest moment of not only your career, but also you got to look in the mirror during this season. I'm sure you've played phenomenal up to this point, but there's got to be a couple of plays you want back, and also this season.
So career, shittiest moment in a career. Let's see. That's I mean, it's always probably was last year, the Germany game when I got stiff arm on TV is the only game on TV in the morning. And we were out in Germany and I just remember getting stiff arm and like as soon as it happened, I'm like, this is about to be all over the internet. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things.
Who was it? Who was it?
It was the running back at Tampa. He was a rookie last year.
Bro, I remember.
Rookie did it too?
Yeah, it was a rook, bro.
Hey, it was tough because I was watching that. I saw that happen. And I love the boy Diggs because I just met him through a common friend, Amir Abdullah. And so I followed him for a while. So I know he he does his thing. He does his thing on social media. He'll speak. He'll do all this stuff. When he got stiff armed, I was like, oh no. He already knows what time it is after that. Oh.
Hey, it was one of those
ones. Everyone gets got, though. That's the best part with the league. Everybody gets got.
Everybody, bro. The worst part was that you had this long flight from Germany after the game. You lost and you got stiff arm. And you got to get on Twitter. You're trying to keep your mind busy. You just like, bro, like, this is terrible. So I just try to stay on Twitter.
Man going viral overseas.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That is tough. That's the entire career over everything.
Season.
That was definitely career because that's one of those ones. If you don't bounce back from that, if you don't bounce back with some good hits, your career can kind of go downhill a little bit. You know what I mean? People, you lose some respect. So I was able to bounce back from that one.
What about this season?
This season, you know what? It really ain't really been much this season. People haven't really tried me a lot this year across the middle. So I really haven't had anything. I mean, just a couple missed tackles. Would have been a shitty moment if we would have lost last week to Detroit after going back there, but we got that handled. The guys looked out for me, so we won that one. But we ain't really had anything. I mean, the shitty moment probably was all the hype we had coming out of the off season, and we go kind of shit the bed the first week of the season. So if anything, that's kind of been what it is.
Yeah,
hey, team guy.
Yeah,
team guy. Gotta love that.
But he is right. Like Seattle was like, they had a hell of a year last year. You guys are 2-1, so it's like you guys are back on track at least. But there is, it's like your passing defense right now is 31st. How do you guys, like, what's the vibe like to get out of that rut? Because obviously it's a rut. Like, you have a leader like yourself. You guys are sitting in meetings each week. You're seeing the games. And it's like, how do you bounce back and put a good game on tape as far as the back end and taking care of those days when, it's 7-on-7 and you're watching after and the coaches are, really touching on really small things. And you're just like, you just know their ass is tight because the boys have been giving up a little bit. How do you get out of that?
I mean, I honestly think this past week wasn't as bad as people think it is. Andy Dalton hadn't thrown the ball 50 times. He threw the ball 50 times. And I think, So anytime you can make an offense throw the ball 50 times and they had like 30 yards rushing, of course they're going to get some yards through the air. So, at the end of the day, those guys, they played well. Thielen had a big game. He had a couple scramble plays that he was able to get away where, I think that was some yards. Then we had a blown coverage where, before halftime, well, it was just like we gave them an easy 40 yards. So I actually think we made some improvements. We got real sticky in our coverage and started playing a little bit more man. And, we're going to see if that holds through. But we'll continue to improve. We've had different guys in and out the secondary. I mean, our starting right corner, who was a Pro Bowl last year, he was out. Spoon, who's our fifth pick this year, he was out the first week. Our nickel, Kobe Bryant, was out this past week. Me and Julian Love, we missed time this week. Jamal's not even back. So for us, just trying to put it together, keep holding on, and once we get everybody back, we're gonna put this thing together, and it should be fun.
How fun has it been having Bobby Wagner back? You go through that year where he goes to the Rams, and in the business, it's like you love it. You love playing for your home squad, everything about it. But until you taste the teeth of the business, and once you do, it pisses you off. I'm sure he was very pissed off about leaving and playing for the Rams, and then it comes back full circle, and now he's back with you guys. What has Bobby Wagner meant for you since you've been there?
I mean, it's been dope. Since the first day I stepped in the building, he's always, kind of took me under his wing. And, he wanted me to play. When I first got here in 2019, I got straight off the plane, and he was trying to get me to play. And I'm like, bro, I got a grade 2 hamstring. Like, I can't play. He was just trying to force me to do it. But it's just one of those relationships that was just kind of naturally organic. And it's been dope. To have him come back, put all the stuff that happened last year behind him and come back and, be the leader that he is and continue to play good ball. It's not like we have somebody that left and then he came back and he's like a senior citizen out there. He can't do nothing out there. He's playing dang good football. So that's even better. So we're excited to have him back. I'm excited because, a little bit of that pressure of being the captain, of being the leader of the defense is kind of off me now. And I can kind of let him do his thing and let him talk, and I can just kind of talk shit and just have fun.
Yeah, bro. That's awesome. Bobby, he's a stud.
He's a unit. He's a little bowling ball too.
Dude, he like looks the best.
Yeah.
He's one of the, no homo. One of the best looking cats.
Hey.
One of the best.
Switch up now.
I'm just saying.
No
Okay,
pause
you're right. No
podcast.
pause.
Yeah,
you are
yeah,
right.
yeah.
No pause.
Listen, handsome boy.
Yeah.
Handsome body.
One of
on
the
guy.
best looking specimens out there in Jersey.
He's like a tan Superman.
That's what you want your arms looking like.
No
out of a
question.
jersey.
No question about it. And I'll tell you what, massive win for me just now. Whenever I readjusted, I can now hear. I've not been able to hear it at all this entire podcast.
Really?
Yes. I've been fighting through adversity, dude. Hey, Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Diggs. Obviously not related, but when you see all the photos and videos of them, what's up?
They're not related?
No. Oh, when you see it, I can't. Nah, I've lost it again. This thing's
yeah. I thought he meant Trayvon and Stephon Diggs.
No.
That's what threw me for a blender. Yeah.
That messed you up a little bit?
My fault.
Obviously, I can't hear anymore. I can't hear anymore.
Well,
how often do you get mistaken for being related to them? And then how often do you sit there and lay in bed at night and reflect and kind of wish you were a little bit related to them when you see in the off season that they are having a grand old time playing drills with each other? Like, you see that and you're like, man, I would love to get that work with them boys.
Hey, I get it a lot. It's always on Twitter, Instagram. If Trayvon has a big game or if Steph have a big game, people like at me on there like, yeah, your brother had a big game. You guys are awesome. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But it's dope, to see guys with your last name, have a big impact in the game. And me and Steph actually same draft class. So we've been battling for a while, for 9 years now. And we would always be like, what up, cuz? Just because you guys know as black people have a lot of relatives. So, we might be related somewhere down the line.
Said it.
Related somehow. No question. No question. Oh, that's my cousin. Like, bro, shut up.
And it is always, you sit there and you really reflect and like, are they actually cousins? Or is this like a...
There's a lot of times too, there'll be even different last names about, oh no, that's my cousin. It's like, dog, shut up.
No, it's not.
LeBron and I, we related. My mom, sister, marriage.
Yes, dude. You're so confused. Like, man, how everybody related? I wish I was related to somebody cool.
Yeah, I'm with you.
The crazy thing is, you're right. Them boys be having a good old time in the off season. So I always look and just be like, that was my brother. I'd be right there with him, but. I just be the chill one and sit at home and take care of the family and kids.
Well, bro, hey, thanks for coming on. Stoked to have you all season long. And then obviously in the off season, you've got to finally come on the bus.
For real. Yeah, absolutely come on the bus. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure meeting you. This has been fun. Can't wait for it to happen again.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all boys. You know what I mean? I can't wait to get back on there. We have some more fun.
Yeah, we'll wait till a little bit more of the season comes out. Get a little, let's shit talk a little bit. Like, who we trying to pick off? Who we trying to?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of, how much are we going to beat the Giants by this week?
Hey, it's going to be a good one. You know what I mean? Monday Night Football. We going into a bye week. Let's go get us a good win and have a great flight home.
Daniel Jones going to throw you one? You going to get you a nice one?
So would be nice. Nino Brown, New Jack City. Go get me a pick. I think that'd be pretty good.
Yes, sir.
That'd be a nice little deal.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Have a good one.
Yep.
What a guy. I had adversity in that. Well, I want people to know. I want people to know that even though it seemed like a seamless interview, I could not hear anything on my headphones. I essentially had to read his lips. And it was like a faint, every once in a while I catch like a faint little volume. And I couldn't hear nothing. So, and then the screen was going out too, like 7 minutes into it, or for about 7 minutes, as you said, after we got the interview.
We were operating though.
We were operating. We were working good.
Low. We'll have to figure out the court situation, but we were still operating. Q's the man. He's a good player.
Yeah, you know him?
Yeah, I know him just through Amir Abdullah. Like one year we had a little boys trip out in Vegas, and he was part of the crew. And from there, it's like we followed each other on Twitter, and you just kind of follow somebody along. And he's like a fun, outspoken cat to follow because he'll like talk shit at times. I mean, you heard him talk about it. He's built different. Like he will carry that confidence.
I did not
in the social media.
I didn't hear him say that.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, yeah. Because
I was having such a hard time with the headphones.
Yeah, he was talking about the hamstring injury. He was talking about just feeling like I'm built a little bit different. And I'm just thinking like, hell yeah, that's the like confident swag I'm wanting him to talk with. And no, he's just a cool cat. And when he talked about him and Amir were both in Detroit, and apparently they just talked about how shitty it was. Obviously, before now that they have a better
the shit house in the penthouse. I caught that.
Yeah, shit house in the penthouse. And so seeing him go to Seattle and then have some Pro Bowl seasons, it's been cool to see and be like, yo, I don't know, that was cool.
Yeah, I wonder if like the young football players like Aiden Hutchinson being in the Lions now and seeing them have success and their franchise like doing well, and the fans are actually great at Michigan. They really support them, but I wonder if they know how good they have it. Because being at a franchise when it's in shambles is so shitty.
I mean, not to like troll or pour salt in the wound, but Lions have really never been.
No, they really haven't.
Well, I mean, Stafford, I guess a couple of years when Stafford, Sue, Calvin Johnson, they'd go to the playoffs, but they wouldn't do a whole lot in the playoffs. But it does have to be tough to be like a Detroit Lions fan.
I know. I saw this thing on the internet. It's like you can tell a good man by the team he roots for. Because if they root for like the Lions or like shitty teams like the Browns, like he's a good dude. He just stay loyal no matter what. Yeah. The Kansas City people out there, gotta watch out for them. Yeah. Gotta watch out for the front runners. Yeah. It is. I wonder how they feel because like last 3 years the Titans or whatever guys would come in and you could tell there was a confidence like we're gonna win, we're gonna make the playoffs, we're gonna be above 500. And sometimes you have to sit there and check dudes, be like, hey, you don't always win. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you some more stories about when I was a rookie.
Yeah.
For my first 2 years, you become like that guy, that unk vibe.
Yeah.
You're trying to tell dudes what's what.
Well, when you're young too, like college, you don't really lose a whole lot unless you're just on like a losing team. Mm-hmm. And so you're always in it. And then when you're surrounded by pros, like everybody's name, you're like, we're gonna be nice this year.
Yeah. Yes.
And knowing like too, you're able to get over a loss a lot easier in the NFL because you know that there's always gonna be a chance.
Yeah. There's always going to be a chance. But yeah, there's so few. And then the overreaction every week, one way or the other with fans is another thing that I'm really seeing a lot. One thing that's going to make us overreact this entire week, and that's the Bussin Bowl. And what's a Bussin Bowl without a cent for the Bussin Bowl? And Duke Cannon's made that cent, dude. It's called Trophy Game. The new Duke Cannon cent Trophy Game was created with the support of the Bussin' with the Boys team, and it is available in thick body wash and big-ass brick of soap. The idea was hatched at the Bussin Bowl with the Duke Cannon team. We wanted to bring a scent to life that celebrates college football and the greatest rivalries. Trophy Game has notes of smoked leather and amber and smells like college bragging rights, not your randomly assigned freshman roommate. Thick, high viscosity body wash. Thick is formulated with a noticeably higher viscosity and built to work efficiently on your body, not spew down the shower drain. Big ass brick of soap, 3 times bigger than the common bar of soap, triple milled with superior quality, and is made with natural oils.
This week is the reason the soap got made.
This is why you take showers. When you get in a week like this week, you get in there and you rub it all over your body because you know when the trophy game is upon you, you gotta smell great when you're hoisting it above your head because those pits are gonna be showing.
Yeah.
The vulnerable, smelly parts will be out there.
Just know when you're washing that body with Duke Cannon's trophy game put together by the Bussin with the Boys crew this week, just know this is why you play the game. This is why you show up this weekend.
Yeah, dude. And if you're wondering, hey, Taylor, Will, where can I find this stuff, dude? You can find the new Duke Cannon scents at dukecannon.com/trophy game and is now available in your closest Walmart. Make sure you call the Walmart first, though.
Could be out. I mean,
could be out. Could have sold out.
Oh, yeah.
When you're in rivalry week, when you're at trophy game week, it very well could be sold out on this Monday as we're filming right now. Tuesday when you're listening. If you're listening on Tuesday, it's already might be too late.
Yeah.
It might be too late. Boys, how do we feel? Is there anything else we need to touch on?
I think we got it.
I believe so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Fuck it. Hell of a show, boys.
Hell of a show.
Subscribe, rate, comment. Subscribe again. Big hugs, tiny kisses.
Also, put in what you think, who's going to win the Bussin Bowl and what the score is going to be.
Yeah.
Comments on the YouTube. Comments on the YouTube.
Comment. Nebraska, money line. Big hugs, tiny kisses.